10 minutes after the hour, good morning to you on this Tuesday. We had a little hiccup on yesterday with the weather and everything, but we're back. So able producer this morning got Carl Brinkley and DL and Coach Brickey will be chiming in a minute. While we're waiting for them to bring them up telephonically, talk a little bit about this weather. Okay, it's 18 degrees out there now. So that's cold, y'all. It is. I mean, you know, for North Carolina in particular. I was reminding Reverend Carl about my days of being out there in Wyoming and Utah. Now, it gets real cold there. I mean, you know, we're talking about 30, 40, some instances 50 degrees below with the wind chill. But, you know, it's colder than normal here. 18 degrees right now. We had a low of 16. Matter of fact, when I left home, it was about 17, and a high today of 38. So tomorrow, a high of 41, a low of 23. Thursday, a low of 22, 38. Friday, about the same. But then we have Saturday, precipitation. They were saying precipitation will be coming, a low of 16, a high of 27. And then Sunday, a low of 12. And a high of 29. So it's DL. It's cold out there, brother. I mean, you gotta get out there and walk Bella, man. You might have to buy some boots or or a coat or something like that.
Yeah, just shorten the walk up. I'll wait till about 10 and shorten the walk.
Right. Well, Zeke, I just let him out and stuff like that, you know, because I don't want to get too old. He's an old dog, you know. He got an old man and an old dog, you know. I'm 70 and the dog is 16, so, you know, we got to take it easy, man. You and Bella are a lot younger than we are.
All right.
How old is Bella in human years?
Well, I don't know, July 20.
So she'll be
July 2020.
So she was born when?
July of 2020.
Oh, man, you got a little puppy there. Okay, all right. You know, working dogs, man, you know, 'cause I used to be a dog handler for the sheriff's office, a drug dog handler. You know, working dogs, they don't even bring them out till about 5 years old, you know. I mean, yeah, that's when they're mature enough to be around cops. Anyway, well, look, waiting on Coach Brickey to chime in with us in a minute. But I was talking about the weather. It's cold out there. But man, we had some games over the weekend, man. I'm telling you, it was something else. It was quite interesting and quite awesome, those games over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So,
definitely.
I did watch a little bit, and I tell people, look, so you can go inside of YouTube, the regular YouTube, not YouTube TV, and you can watch all these games right after. You know, I mean, in the middle of the game, they're not going to show it to you live, but if they're in the second half, you could be watching the first half. That's for free, Coach. So, Reverend Carl, because, man, now all this streaming and everything they want you to pay for, if you pay for everything, man, you could be paying $1,500 a year just to watch football. I mean, that's just one sport. I'm not talking about everything, just one sport. I just, But we're going to have Coach Brickey on in a minute. So you're a Steelers fan, so let's talk about the old man. I'm using your language now, the coach that y'all get. Yeah, McCarthy. So y'all stole something from the Cowboys.
Well, this is Art Rooney, who inherited this team from his great-grandfather, who passed it down to his father. This is his first hire because his dad hired Mike Tomlin and Bill Cowher. So I think he doesn't want to go in a rebuild, so he wanted somebody that can develop a quarterback. And I was just surprised at 62 because the hot commodity is the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak. But, hey, I always tell these folks, everybody has an opinion from all different backgrounds. But at the end of the day, who am I to tell a billionaire owner who to hire? I could see if he was a terrible previous coach, but McCarthy's won wherever he's went. He inherited Aaron Rodgers, and then Dak was there when he got there. But he's won. You know, I consider him a bridge coach, meaning he's going to be bridged to some income in the next 5 or 6 years. At him being 62, take that back. You know, Belichick in the 70s, he can coach next 10 or 12 years. So who knows?
How old is this guy?
62, and he's a Pittsburgh native.
Oh, he's a youngster then. He's a youngster. Okay. Yeah. He's a youngster. Okay. All right.
Compared to what Pittsburgh, Chuck Noll was 37, Bill Cowher was 34, and Tomlin was 35. So that's this is an outlier for the Steelers.
Yeah. Well, 62 is in the day's world is pretty young.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty young. I mean, we'll see what happens. But I wish you guys the best. I mean, I just want my Raiders. Once we get a good coach, we're gonna whoop all y'all in the AFC and wear you out. You see what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be Raider town.
I like to see I like to see a change of the guard. Who wants to see the same team win all the time?
Yeah, well, this Super Bowl coming up is going to be interesting. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, everybody's predicting, and I believe that Seattle will come out on top as well. But, I can't wait till Coach Brickey gets him. I want him to talk about the glorious things of this previous UNC quarterback. I want him to heap a lot of praise on top of him.
Yeah, people are starting to play back clips. Bill Belichick was on a show back in 24. His comments, he just gave a professional assessment of Drake made. It wasn't. I don't think it wasn't flattering, but it was not mean spirited. He just gave his a professional assessment of Drake.
Right. I'm with you. Well, it's going to be interesting. Another thing is, I've been watching this stuff, just following this. They've been talking about these referees. In real time, I mean, these guys are not going to get it exactly right all the time. I don't think there's no collusion like some people are alleging, though. I don't know. I mean, you got to show them a little bit more than some bad calls to claim that they're trying to throw a game. And first of all, if somebody's that far ahead, if they're beating them down anyway, it's not going to matter. But, when a game turns into one play or two, I can see people being concerned about it.
Yeah, I don't believe in those conspiracy theories either.
Right. But some people, they just everything's a conspiracy. When they was talking about the weather, I was talking when they said, no, I don't believe the weather's going to be that bad. I believe it's just they're saying that so that people can go to the grocery store and buy up everything from the grocer. I said, so you believe that there is some type of collusion between the the meteorologists and the grocery store or the people that are selling generators or gas, all those things. I was like, I mean, that's a bit much for me. I'm not buying into all that.
Yeah, I don't believe that as well neither. I just, social media, you have to look at the source these days, and everything's about click and getting traffic on websites.
Right. So, the Super Bowl is going to be played where this year again?
San Jose, California. That's where Levi Stadium. That's the home of the 49ers. It's about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour from San Francisco, San Jose, California.
Right. Well, it should be great weather there. There's a cold front that's stretching all across most of America now, but still, things should turn out to be pretty well there when we get there in San Francisco. Let's go back. Coach can come on. We can talk a little bit more about the games, but I was able to watch both games. We're talking about the Broncos versus New England. That was a low-scoring game. We're talking about 10-7. Did the score surprise you at all?
Yeah. Well, I think with even if the weather had stayed like it was in the first quarter, I don't think it was going to be a high-scoring game because Denver has an excellent defense, and it came to play. And if you think about it, the only time New England actually scored, after a terrible play by the Denver backup quarterback. I don't know what he's thinking about. Throw the ball away, live the punt. And so they were able to hit some big plays, and Drake May had a good run. And I didn't know the weather was going to be that bad going into the second half. But people call it a snooze fest, but I call it good defense in the weather. You know, I like how Jim Nantz and Tony Romo explained how before they switched to the fourth quarter, New England, if they were going to score, they had to score with the wind because going against the wind, they couldn't even see. And then Denver had the advantage because they had the orange jerseys on, whereas New England had white jerseys on in the snow. So it was a tough game.
Yeah, it was. But again, I think that, you know, this second-year quarterback out of the University of North Carolina, and I thought that he had a real good season in his collegiate career at Chapel Hill. I think he's proven to be the real deal.
Well, yeah, I think he's proven to be the real deal. This surprisingly, you're talking about the only two games he lost was in the first 3 weeks of the season. He lost to the Raiders. He lost to the Raiders and the Steelers. Those are the only two teams. I don't think the Raiders and Steelers beat New England after week 8. But, you know, any given Sunday. But those are the only two teams they walked. And they get criticized for having a weak schedule, which it was. But you could only beat the teams in front of you, though. But I will give New England and Drake May this. Denver had the second-rated defense overall. And then the team last week, the Texans, had the first overall rated defense. And then I think the Chargers were number 6, who they beat in the wild card round. So they earned where they're going. They earned it. You know, what give it to them.
Right. And then moving over to the NFC, that game, you know, it wasn't even close, in a sense. I mean, I know the score was 31-28, but it didn't feel like that throughout the game, at least not to me.
Well, these coaches out-coach themselves. Look, it was 13-10, and Sean McVay, who's considered a top 5 coach, it was 13-10, and it was under 2 minutes, and the Rams had the ball going into halftime. All the coach needed to do was run some time off. What did he do? They do more passing than running, but when you pass the ball under 2 minutes and it's an incomplete pass, it stops the clock. So, and Seattle had the better of the defense, and because the Rams defense couldn't stop a cold on Sunday. So what did they do? 2 straight incompletions, and guess what? You give the Seahawks the ball back with 1 timeout, and they go down and score, and they go out and take the lead forever. So you have to run the clock away, just like think about Buffalo 2 weeks ago in Denver when it was, less than 20 seconds left, and I think it was a 3-point game. It was a tied game, I think. Whatever it was, doesn't matter. Josh Allen's trying to play hero ball, fumbles, and then New England gets a cheap 3-point. Denver gets a cheap 3-point. Sometimes you just got to go into halftime with what you got and regroup.
Yeah, you know, I'm following some things, though, but there are people that are really upset with the coaching at Denver and the play calling. You know, not necessarily fans that are saying this, but just commentators in general are just saying that Denver made some very bad decisions during that game.
Like I said before, New England scored off that one turnover, terrible turnover by the quarterback for Denver. But you take the point. In a defensive game, you take the points. Man, Steelers games, a friend of mine who was a Panther fan, he used to joke with me, man, everybody want to watch Steelers. All y'all going to do is score 4 or 5 field goals. But they had the defense. When they played Baltimore back in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, Baltimore and Pittsburgh wasn't a lot of scoring. But Pittsburgh, you didn't have a lot of scoring in Pittsburgh in the 2000s between Cowell and Tomlin. So you had to they caught field goals because Pittsburgh didn't score a lot of touchdowns, but they had a defense. and Denver's got one of the, Denver has a top 2 defense, and you just, keep the field goal in your defense because Denver didn't. I mean, New England only put 10 points on the board, Troy. That's good. 10 points.
Yeah. Well, I heard somebody chime in. Is that you, Coach? Good morning.
Good morning. I apologize, gentlemen.
No problem. But see, look though. But y'all talk to a friend of mine. I'm gonna call him out because it's all in fun. Bishop Wisdom, aka Dwight Palmer. So I said, look. Now, Coach can say this. I don't know. I mean, like I think people are too hard on athletes. Like they supposed to just never miss a free throw or whatever. Okay. Even if an athlete's made 100 free throws playing basketball, he gonna miss it sometime. And so even a kicker is not gonna be 100%. Now, you don't want to see them miss crucial game where it's a game winner and all that, but nobody's gonna get it like that all the time because you're a human being. Am I right about that, Coach?
Yeah, I know as fans we want, especially if it's your team. You
right.
Expect the team to do everything right, and that's just unrealistic. But I get it. As a fan, you want to see your team do well. Like the Panthers, we backed into the playoffs. This city would have gone ballistic had we ended up winning that first round playoff game. So
right.
Sometimes our expectations. That's why they call it. Fan is short for fanatic. So you got to think of the origin of the word.
Yeah, I agree, but some of these fans, they're crazy. I mean, they be looking for people's houses and they want to take out hits on them and stuff like that. I mean, that's just going too far, man. I mean, gee whiz. I mean, they just don't do that. I mean, they're human beings. I don't think that they they got paid off. Those people don't want to lose. They want to win.
Yeah, it's easy to sit on the sideline and judge what happens on the field, and people have no idea how difficult what they're doing really is, and the amount of time and energy they put into perfecting their craft, and they make mistakes. So, I know people don't want to hear that, but look, think about your own life. You try to live that as best you can, but sometimes you make mistakes.
That's what I'm saying. Because I was talking to Dwight. I said, Dwight, think about how many times a housewife or a child or you or anybody, a husband, was walking across the kitchen and you just dropped a plate and dropped a cup or dropped a glass and broke a glass. I mean, it ain't like you doing it every day, but,
right.
Things happen. And I just, I feel sorry for those individuals that missed those. But now if I'm on an opposing team, like, I'm pulling for the opposing team, I'm like, okay, yes. But still, there's a degree of sympathy for them.
Absolutely, man. Look, trust me. I've been a coach and I've been fired. So anytime I see a coach get fired, I view that in a different light because I've been in his shoes, or his or her shoes. So, I think, Trey, the big picture is, I think that's what God is telling them. Just think about it from somebody else's perspective, and that will help you with your perspective.
Right. Because, and I agree with you, I mean, a lot of folk don't understand if they've ever been dehired before. You know what I mean?
I like that word.
You've been, I mean, look, because, you could be doing everything right, but, hey, look, you're just like, hey, look, I don't want you no more, so you got to go,
Right.
But the whole thing, and that I understand that, and I guess the same thing in business, you got to be winning, because they're looking at the bottom line. Most of the time, if you're not being successful in achieving the goals and objectives of the company, regardless, of who messed up, then, it's on you. Same thing in the military deal, I know one time when I was in the Air Force, and this kid, he was at a level where he could be working by himself, but he was with this plane, and he dropped some kind of canister, and it has inflammant on it, and it burned up the plane, and it killed him. Mm-hmm. And they fired all the way up to that general, man. Everybody lost their job. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And that general wasn't standing there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But That's the way the military works. DL, you know what I'm talking about, correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
I mean,
They
you
lose
didn't.
confidence. They lose confidence in you. That's the standard terminology. I'm relieving of your duties because I've lost confidence in your ability to lead.
Right. You didn't do it. However, you're responsible for it.
Right. Like, you think about Mike Tomlin, and maybe he knew the handwriting was on the wall, or but listen, you think about how much steam he took out of that conversation by stepping down right away. Like, had he let that drag on for a week, imagine the conversation that was going on across Pittsburgh Nation and sports talk radio. So there, I think there's a time when you can see the handwriting on the wall, and then I think he made a wise choice.
Well, we have a very avid Pittsburgh fan that drives to Pittsburgh games inside of our broadcast this morning that has called for Mike Tomlin's head on a number of occasions. DL, now you've been on him now, particularly this year.
I've been on Mike Tomlin for 4 years. But here's my thing. I think he's a good coach. He just surrounds himself with better coaches. Tony Dungy, I told you the Tony Dungy story. Tony Dungy, when he got hired at Tampa Bay, Tony said, I want to go out and get me some young, smart college talent, because he knew the NFL, because Tony was D coordinator in Minnesota and Pittsburgh. He goes to Cincinnati where Mike Tomlin is at. He instantly falls, oh, wow, this kid is smart. Brings him to Tampa. Tony said he goes to the position room of these coaches, and Tomlin was a DB coach. He said when he peeked in Tomlin's defensive back coach room, he said, man, I ain't got to go back in there. Tony Dungy did what Mike Tomlin didn't do. That's why Tomlin teams never advanced. That's my opinion. And terrible draft picking. Kenny Pickett, oh, my goodness.
Well, look, guys, we need to go to a break right quick, and we'll be right back again inside of the Coach Brickey Sports Show. Coach is on the line this morning. I think he's inside, so he's not wrapped up. And also, Donovan DL is in with his puppy, but I've been outside, and Reverend Carl been outside too. And trust me, Reverend Carl, tell him it's cold out there, isn't it? It's chilly willy. We'll be right back for more inside of the Brickey Sports Show, 1600 AM, 99.7. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Forecasters across the state are tracking the chance for more snow this weekend, but it's way too early to talk location totals or probabilities. Meanwhile, the cleanup from the weekend winter storm is underway. Governor Josh Stein is overseeing that operation from Raleigh. Parts of North Carolina is enduring power outages. Duke Energy spokesman Jeff Brooks says they are working hard to restore power. It's extremely cold, and AAA Carolina's Tiffany Wright tells NCN News if you have an electric vehicle, keep it charged. North Carolina is working with several partners, including Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina's Foundation, Coca-Cola Consolidated, and the Duke Endowment, among others, to assist eligible families putting food on the table for their children this summer. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. Cumberland County Schools operate on an asynchronous remote learning day today. All after-school activities are canceled, prime time is closed, and district offices and buildings are closed with staff working remotely. During the asynchronous remote learning day, students complete grade-level assignments prepared by their teachers. There will be no live video sessions or required login times. On January 25th at about 9:30 p.m., Fayetteville Police Department officers were sent out to the 5200 block of North Sumac Circle on reports of shots being fired. Officers arrived on scene and found an adult male and two adult females suffering from gunshot wounds. Another adult male was located on the scene suffering what appeared to be a stab wound. One adult male and one adult female, both suffering from gunshot wounds, were pronounced deceased at the scene. The second adult female suffering from a gunshot wound and the second adult male with possible stab wounds were taken to a local hospital. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jay.
This morning, starting out with cold weather advisories in place. It is bitterly cold, and any little gust of wind is really going to cut right through. So hope you're finding ways to stay warm out there. Heading into the afternoon, it's mostly sunny, high temperatures in the upper 30s and lower 40s. Overnight, clear to at times partly cloudy, temperatures dropping into the 20s. Then as we head into Wednesday afternoon, mostly sunny, highs 40 to 45. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the Weather Center.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electric.
Hey, you looking for your next car? Start at Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville. At Bryan Honda, we make buying a car simple, stress-free, and affordable. Whether you're searching for a brand new Honda or a quality pre-owned vehicle, we've got a huge selection to fit every lifestyle and every budget. From fuel-efficient Civics and Accords to family-friendly CRVs and Pilots, Bryan Honda has the perfect vehicle waiting for you, and with our friendly, knowledgeable sales team, you'll never feel pressured. Need financing? No problem. Bryan Honda works with multiple lenders to get you approved fast with competitive rates that make sense for you. Plus, our certified service department is here long after the sale, keeping your Honda running strong for years to come. Drive smarter, drive happier, and drive home today from Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville, or you can visit online, bryanhonda.com. Your road starts here. Nobody beats a Bryan Honda deal, not now, not ever.
As the health director in Haywood County and a nurse here in North Carolina, I can tell you that the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline saves lives.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available.
988 Lifeline counselors are ready 24/7 to speak with you, help you cope, and get you connected to the support that is right for you.
988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Call, text, or chat 988 24/7. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
If you can no longer work because of illness or injury, you should be collecting Social Security disability insurance benefits. Call Brent Adams now for a free consultation. Don't give up just because you've been turned down. Brent Adams has helped thousands collect full disability benefits even after they've been turned down. Call now, 910-888-8888. Don't hesitate. Call 8. At Brent Adams & Associates, we make things right.
Minutes after the hour, back to the Coach Brickey Sports Show, 1600 AM, 99.7. Coach, so as we talk about this Super Bowl that's coming up, and you spent a lot of time in Durham, which is close to Chapel Hill, we'll let you talk about the quarterback because he's from Chapel Hill.
That's right. I think Drake May is from Charlotte. So
I know that. You know what I'm talking about.
Listen, no hate on the Tar Heel program, man. Listen, they've done it well and they've done it right for a long time. So
you know I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, I know.
I watched you guys play last night, man. I mean, they just beat the stockings off of Louisville.
Man, look, by the time I turned the game on, it was already over, so I didn't end up watching the game. They were 20 when I turned the channel. I watched a few minutes, and it was 30 before long, so I turned to watch something else.
Right. Anyway, but what about that? Now, we're talking about a second-year quarterback. What do you call these players that they've just gone around the league from team to team? Journeyman or something like that?
Yep.
Is that the word?
Journeyman. Yep.
But isn't it true, Coach, sometimes they have to find the system and everything just kind of clicks for them, whereas it doesn't mean that they're not talented or they don't have the skill set. Sometimes it's just you got to be in the right place at the right time. Really?
Absolutely. Right? So, listen, if you look at the Final Four in the NFL, look at the coaches on those teams. Coaching matters. And so we got down to the best 4 coaches, and now we're down to 2 of the best coaches. So sometimes as a coach, you can recognize the ability of a person, and you can help that put that person in position to be successful. So, Drake May is doing great things. We're not putting it all on coaching. Evidently, he's got some skills and abilities, but a coach has got to take those skills and abilities and channel them in the right way. So, I always use this saying: you don't want me singing in the choir. Because you're going to be mad and I'm going to be mad. It's not my gift. So you set me up to fail if you do that. But if you get me to doing some other things, I have a chance to be successful and help my team. So, shout out to the coaches. They don't ever get enough credit. They get all the blame when something goes wrong, but they never get the credit when something's going right.
I agree. And, that's my mind just runs back to Jerry Jones when he had a phenomenal coach, and then he insults the guy by saying 500 coaches could have won this. I mean,
yeah. Did
he really believe that? Or was it ego? I mean, that's about the dumbest thing that could ever be said to insult your head coach like that. And look, he hasn't won anything since. I mean, actually, they won a game after he left, but that was with the team that he put together. And right. It's almost like karma has come back at him in a very, very, very harsh way.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you examine, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about Jerry Jones because I hear Cowboy fans agony over Jerry Jones, and but you look at who you're dealing with. So I just don't put energy into people who are just going to say things. I think Jerry Jones wants the headline, and so he says things that keep his name in the headlines. I guess he goes on the philosophy that any media is good media, even if it's negative. So, we need to get Pastor Brinkleey. He ain't praying hard enough to get Jerry out of there.
That's true. DL.
Oh, well, you talked about coaching and players moving on. Sam Darnold was the third overall pick in the 2018 draft. And you just get with bad organizations, and it can bring a player down. You get with the right coach. And right now, Sam Darnold's with the right team. I know Minnesota wish they still had him. But I think he's going to host that Lombardi in a couple weeks.
Well, the conversation comes back again. We have Shedeur Sanders is making the news again in a positive way. He was selected at the Pro Bowl. We know some people turned it down. But, excuse me, however he got there. What about that?
Wait a minute. I missed this story. What happened? Did I hear you right and say Shedeur Sanders was in the Pro Bowl?
Yes, sir.
How in the world did that happen?
Explain it to him, DL.
Players turned it down. Josh Allen didn't want it. Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville. It's lost its lure. They don't, it's flag football. The NBA All-Star game in the Pro Bowl is just lost it. They don't really want to go there, so he accepted.
Right. So that means everybody turned it down.
Well, not everybody, but coaches like this. This is the first time ever in the history of them doing what they're doing that a fifth rounder rookie has been selected to go to the Pro Bowl.
Wow.
Now, he wasn't selected. He was an alternate. He was a call-up. I guess you could call it a selection. He was selected. But he was not. I guess you can call it a fill-in. You're alternate, No, but not look, trying to minimize it.
No, but deal. If they offer it to you, and you say no, and they wanted you, but I'm the second choice, and they offer it to me, then I was selected.
Yeah, hey, if you want to go play flag football, I didn't. I didn't think you were going to bring that up, but anyway.
It's not flag football. Come on, man.
It is flag football. They don't. It's lost it. The NFL and the NBA. I don't know what they're going to do anymore. Baseball is right now the only one that's competitive because I think it counts towards something meaningful. Baseball. I don't know if it's home field advantage through the World Series or what.
Yeah, I think the winning division gets home field somewhere along the way of the playoffs.
So, Coach, do you agree with that? I mean, that there's no substance? Now, I know they say that the NBA has dropped in its, people watching it, viewership, something like 30-40%. But are you saying the same thing with regard to the NFL? I haven't seen that.
I don't think viewership is falling off. I think what he's saying is the All-Star game, in the NBA Pro Bowl and the NBA All-Star game, nobody wants to play in the NFL because nobody wants to get hurt. And then it's a long season, and you finally got to a point where you get a break. Your body's still bruised, banged. Now, if you want to go take the trip and hang out with people, that's probably a great trip if you want to take your kids or whatever. But it's just, people are trying to. You don't get much of an off season, so you want to maximize your time in the off season. Like if I were like Josh Allen, I'd be in the Caribbean somewhere. I'd be trying to recover by the ocean somewhere, But I was right. They've lost this luster, and they don't know what to do to try to get it back.
But isn't though when they passing out accolades with your resume, saying that you were a Pro Bowler, isn't that still something that is on an NFL player's resume that says something positive about them?
Oh yeah. And look, there's money tied to it. So
okay.
you get selected to the Pro Bowl, you get a bonus.
Okay.
And there may be some incentives in your contract too. So if I make the Pro Bowl, I get X amount of dollars, and then you get paid to go to the Pro Bowl. So there's a financial incentive, definitely.
Right.
Yeah. Bro, they started playing the Pro Bowl. They don't tackle no more. It's flag football because they don't want folks to get injured, and so. I have no issue with that. Who wants to go to a Pro Bowl and get injured in your off season, and it might cost you a job next year? It's just not something I watch anymore.
Well, I got you saying, but still, at the end of the day, it is an official recognition. And look, I've been a Shedeur Sanders fan for the whole year, so I'm not dropping off now. I believe that he deserves a level of applause for making it his first year as a rookie. And a fifth-round draft pick at that. Agree?
Okay.
That's just my take.
I'll disagree with you on that one, Troy. Like,
okay.
Listen, if 7 people turned it down and I'm just the last guy left, then I don't know if I should get credit for being a Pro Bowler.
Okay, all right. So y'all want to be mean today. I got you. Okay.
Well, I don't want to be mean. I'm just objective.
Okay, all right.
It's about brand what you're doing, so he can go there and market his brand. I'm more interested to see the coach, because there's still about 3 teams without coaches, and interested to see who comes on to coach the Cleveland next year.
So this is a negative, Coach, but still, I think it would warrant some type of response. So when the Cleveland coach goes to Atlanta, it's just reported that some of the African Americans immediately don't like him because they don't think he treated Shedeur fairly. Have you seen that story?
I have not.
DL, you seen that story?
Well, I see it, and I say to this. Arthur Blank, he hired Matt Ryan, who probably their best franchise quarterback, and that includes Mike Vick, because Matt Ryan was the MVP, and he got him to the Super Bowl, and they terribly lost once they had that big lead. And so he's the president, and his first move to bring in Kevin Stefanski. Now, the optics of it, and Kevin Stefanski brought this on himself, the optics of how he handled Shedeur once his owner and GM should have never put him in that situation. He could have handled it a whole lot better, and he didn't. But if I'm Arthur Blank, regardless, even if he hadn't done this for the black community in Atlanta, he's donated a lot of money to HBCU. When I went to the Steelers Falcons game in 24, you walk past Morris Brown, and I looked at the field turf. Arthur Blank did a lot for that community. Even if he didn't, he's a billionaire owner. I believe like this about Arthur Blank. Come to the game and support him. If you don't, we're going to move on because NFL is king. I got bigger things to worry about in America than telling a billionaire who to hire and fire. You know, it's beyond me.
So, Coach, DL, if I could move on to talk a little bit about college ball. So there was 2 marquee games last night. Again, I think Louisville's ranked number 20 or 18 or something like that. Duke beat them up pretty bad. And then BYU, who I'm told, Coach, that BYU has probably the number 1 draft choice. They went into Arizona, and Arizona wore them out.
I tell you what, that kid DJ DeBonta from Utah. What school? Anyway, Arizona is the number 1 team in the country. So a lot of people are going to have trouble with Arizona. They're deep, they're fast, they got kids that can really shoot the ball, well coached. They're going to be a problem when it comes to March Madness. So, but DJ DeBonta is a pro. I watched him play. I was like, oh my God, this kid has got pro level game already. I mean, he does things that 5th and 6th and 7th year pro would do. Body control, get to a spot, under control, never rushed and poised. I'm like, this kid can really play.
And say he's a second half kind of guy. I mean, he just comes in there and he just, it's like second half, the second 20 minutes, he runs in the closet, it's Clark Kent, and comes out. Yeah. The second half is Superman.
Wait, look, man, if you haven't seen him play, do yourself a favor. Block off some time and watch him. The kid can really play, man. He does all. Now, like, you got to really pay attention to it. Like, don't watch his scoring. Watch his footwork, his movements, his pace. He understands the game at a higher level.
Right. And
let me jump in, Troy. And when it comes to Kansas and Duke, as long as they listen to their coaches, they shouldn't have a problem in the regular season. But when the tournament comes, it's one and done. And some of these referees dictate the outcome of games in college basketball, and I can't stand it. I see Arizona and Duke meeting in the Final Four unless there's an injury or they take their foot off the gas pedal. That's the only way they'll be railed from meeting in the Final Four, in my opinion.
Well, Coach, you're a basketball coach. What about that? I mean, the team, they don't take to the floor with the same mindset every night. So some nights, I mean, as a spectator, it just looks like sometimes they're just not there for whatever reason. And that happens, correct?
Oh, yeah. Listen, you think about it, man. These are still college kids. They got to go to class. They want to have some semblance of a social life. They got to travel. You still got to worry about studying and exam. I mean, there's a lot going on in college kids' heads. Now, pro is different. But, you think about this, you have right at the end of the first semester, you got a stretch where you basically can't practice because you got exams. And then you got, a brief period where you can practice, but then by the time you get back to practicing, you got Christmas break. And by the time you get back from Christmas break, you're right into the conference season. So there's a lot of factors that go into factor in on the college level.
Yeah, right. Well, but I think that the ACC has some real talent that just go around too. Duke and that young man that's and in Carolina there in the center, they're playing some good ball. Of course, Duke just loaded with everybody, but Wilson is playing some pretty good ball at UNC.
That kid is special. I hadn't watched him play as much. Dio, have you seen him play?
Yeah, he's good. He needs to work on that. He's good without the ball. His players need to work on their entry passes to get the ball into him. And I get to see him twice. I'm going to see him when they play Syracuse and when they play State. So I'll get to see up close.
Yeah, but I was watching this game when they played Virginia. They had 2 hard losses in California, came back, and they bounced back with 2. There was a good quad 1 win over Virginia. But this was a side story, Coach. So, Virginia has a big-time player, too. And say that the kid was sitting there with his head covered with his towel. They lost at home. What's the name of that gym? Little John, something like that. And then what he does is the Wilson kid goes over to the Virginia player and consoles him, and not for the cameras or anything, but people watch that, and they're talking about that's a real class act.
Right. It's nice to see in the day and age, man, because, athletics is taking a turn in terms of attitude. And so it's nice to see a young man displaying some genuine sportsmanship.
And what about that? I mean, do we need a class in sportsmanship from the pros all the way down to Pee Wee?
I'll let DL jump in on that one.
Yeah. I don't think they do, but I got one question for Coach real quick.
Sure.
I kind of watching the NBA, so the Knicks fired Thibodeau because he said he practiced his players too hard, and now what's his name?
Mike Brown.
What's the coach they got now?
Mike Brown.
I don't think he's going. Hey, if they don't turn it around, I think he's gone by March. What you say, Coach? I'm not looking for him to be fired, but you can't go opposite of what they did last year.
Yeah, listen, Mike Brown is a well-respected coach. He's won at a couple of different places in the league. He's respected by his peers, but I think he stepped into a bad situation. Yeah. If you don't get back to at least to the Eastern Conference Finals, then you haven't done what the previous coach did.
Yeah.
So, and you know how crazy they are about basketball in New York. They think that's the mecca. So you may be right, Coach. I hate, and I like Mike Brown. I think, I've watched him. I respect what he does as a coach.
I do too.
But, that New York crowd, man, and Dolan has made, let's say, less than good decisions before about coaches. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like Thibodeau. He gets a bad rap, but I was a big Thibodeau fan. You're not trying to be your player's best friend.
Right.
Yeah, but Coach, I put it like this though: they may like it in New York, but they sure haven't won anything lately except baseball.
Like that, and that's why he might be on the hot seat, man. Listen, Spike Lee come in the game. If Spike Lee can't come sit on the sideline in the Eastern Conference Finals, that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Well, look, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I know you're trying to stay warm wherever you are. I give the last word to you guys.
Super Bowl.
So we're now Super Bowl prediction. Who you picking?
Oh, we got 2 weeks though.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
You can change your mind, but it ain't gonna make no difference.
Well, who do you have now? Who do you got now?
Seattle.
Okay.
But
Seattle.
I'm gonna win either way. So if New England wins, then I'm gonna talk about the UNC quarterback.
I'm gonna take Seattle too because their defense. I'll tell you, and not that New England's defense is a slouch. I think Seattle's got a little bit better defense.
Yeah, I think they're the better team. I believe they're the better team, and I think they're due again now. So we just have to take that to be a plus. But it's going to be interesting, no doubt about it. People going to have do you believe this game is as big of a game as it could have been if it was somebody else?
First thing I thought about, I was like, man, I wonder what the NFL is thinking about this matchup in terms of drawing power. Are people going to tune in to watch Seattle and New England, a New England team without Tom Brady? Like, other than Drake May, who do you know on that team?
I don't know anybody. I don't.
Well, I think the good news is the Super Bowl is just a reason for people to get together. So, regardless of the team, I think it'll still be a big deal.
This is true. Look, no argument for me. Well, look, Coach, I'm glad you guys are safe and you're warm wherever you are. And, you know, that, but look, it's supposed to come again next weekend. You know that, right? This coming weekend.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Wow, I didn't know that.
You didn't know? Check, man. It's supposed to be like down to like 12 degrees, and it's going to be ice and rain on freezing rain on Saturday and snow on Sunday, brother, all over again.
All right. Okay.
Well, look, appreciate you guys. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your day. Those of you that are tuning in, thank you for tuning in to the Coach Brickey Sports Show. And we're checking out now. Have a great rest of your day. Try to stay warm wherever you are. Coming up next, and we have Coach Paul coming in with his Steelers stuff now. So, but anyway, you all have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Your station.